Mason Baston again, River Road Jet Boats, tips and tricks on this UHMW repair. So I've got my piece after we've thermal molded it, first pass anyways, went pretty well. You can see it's flatter. When we get it screwed down, we'll work it a little better, but still a very solid piece of plastic and getting its shape back. Something I noticed I thought was kind of cool I'd share with you guys. When this piece of plastic was hit by the foreign object, the screw from here or here was hit so hard and then hit again that it actually was driven into the plastic as it was tearing off. This is the side that goes to the hull. Our hardware is usually on this side. So to give you an idea what kind of forces are at play there, snapped it and then smashed it back into there. But anyways, let's see how this thing fits. So, slide it up here. Hey, this is kind of cool too. This thing is shaped almost just like the great state of Virginia. Go Virginia. This piece fits not super well though. It's a little big, but it's a lot warmer than ambient temperature here in the shop. So I'm going to take this piece of plastic and I'm going to put it in the freezer. That's right, I'm going to freeze it. Probably about 30 minutes, and what's going to happen is the plastic is going to shrink. Not much, but just a little bit. UHMW is very temperature sensitive. It shrinks and expands depending upon the ambient temperature. So I'm going to freeze this, get it down to about as small as I can, and then I'm going to go in here and start shaving it down to start the final fit. I'm going to have to cut some material away, and it's not going to be as good as it was when it was new, but it's going to be as good as it ever was. So it's going to work, and it'll save me having to put plastic on this boat before I'm ready to. So anyways, we'll see you in a minute. Hey folks, Mason Baston again with River Road Jet Boats, tips and tricks. This looks a lot different than it did the last time we met before we cut away. Ended up, camera battery died. We started working on this. We found a small crack in the tunnel. It wasn't a through crack, but we wanted to cut it out. We wanted to grind it and weld it shut. So we did that. And then we went ahead and fitted our piece of plastic. When we first put it in, the piece of plastic had shrunk up enough to fit pretty nice. All we did was we went around the edges and did some trimming so that it would fit in there a little better. And the biggest thing we did was we 45'd the back. Not the full back surface, but about half of it we 45'd. And we do that for a couple reasons. You see now that it's almost a perfect fit. Well, it's not actually a perfect fit. We've got a glue in there called Tight Bond. Now, Tight Bond is a metal roof sealant. Tight Bond does not actually stick to the UHMW. Although it will appear to have glued to the surface here, you can dig at it and pry at it. It's not actually glued to the UHMW. What it's done is it's adhered to the aluminum below the UHMW. This product adheres really well. It sets up to a nice firm consistency. So what we'll do is we'll over apply it behind the damaged area, drive it down, smooth it over, and then let it set up, and then we'll come back and grind it. Now, what we did as far as our hardware here, hey Jamie, can you grab me a straight edge?
Yes, sir.
What we did here as far as our hardware is concerned, and the trick I was going to tell you guys about, is everything is in a straight line on the jet boat. Thank you, sir. So where we ran, as far as our hardware is concerned, we ran and put 1, 2, 3 in our straight line here, knowing that we're clearing on the stringers on the inside. Same with these two right here, clear, and then this guy right here runs to the inside of our stringer here. Now, we did have to put in 2 bolts that are under our stringer. That happens. When we replace the plastic on this boat, we'll weld that hole shut. And this one is not directly under it, but it will need to be welded shut because it's so close. But for temporary repairs, this works great. And the old straight edge, just running off your existing hardware, is a good way to get started. And then you take your measurements in between your stringers and you figure out how close you can get. Now, one of the neat things about our boats is all this is accessible from the inside. It's all easy to get to, particularly this area. This is inside our access compartment for the bilge, where you access your bilge pump and your live well pumps. So this is a really open area. We'll nut the backs of these, and everything will be good. Like I said, we just grinded it down. That's the original piece after we thermoformed it, got it nice and flat, and put it back in there. And we'll get, you know, years of service out of this. That's a good repair.